Hello. Sorry about the delay there. Had to get my hat. It is Monday, the 12th of December, 2022. Can you believe it? Less than 20 days left of the year. 2022's gone. Just like that. Big good evening to Jacob Platt, to Duke Vengeance, to Ian, who's on his using his data allowance. He's watching me on 144p. Nice. Or VHS mode, as us older gents would call it. Yoni says a hat is essential. It absolutely is, and good evening, sir. We've also got Duke saying it's been a crap month as well, with mass strikes, freezing, starving people, an explosion in Jersey, and 3 kids dead, and 1 in critical condition after falling into an icy lake in Solihull. Yeah. Oh shit, I haven't updated my graphic, which I need to do now, which I'll do while you're watching, because I should have done that before I came live on air. But obviously, I've got to design this stuff. What's going on? Why is this not working properly? It's on that thing, where you make a file and it doesn't appear in the right place. Oh, there you go. There it is. Hey, I didn't need to fade that across. It just insta-changed. But there you go. Bleak Midwinter. Yeah, I thought that the news was pretty bleak. I came on a few minutes ago and I just looked at the BBC headlines and the CNN headlines, and they were all pretty shit. I thought, well, what should I call the show tonight? Well, it's pretty fucking bleak. That's why I'm wearing. I'm actually wearing 2 hoodies at the moment because it's so fucking cold in this house. And there was a picture on the wall over there, and Catherine took it down over the weekend. And behind it was like mold, like lots of mold, which is a bit concerning. Probably shouldn't be breathing in this room. Fucking Tories. fucking Tories. Anyway, but I went back to Liverpool this weekend. It was my dad's birthday. He's still with us, remarkably. And so I went over to see him and some of my fam, and also working a little bit on a project that I'm working on, hopefully for money next year. For money, imagine that. Imagine me actually getting paid for the stuff I do. I was just updating my GrahamDavidHughes.com website. Don't go over there just yet because I haven't finished. It's going to look really funky and crap on a phone, especially. It'll probably look pretty crap on a laptop as well at the moment. But as I was doing it, I was going, so all this anti-Brexit stuff, the Global Scouse Day stuff, the UK for UKR stuff, and Labour Social, which I'm working on at the moment, which is my next project. I'm doing all this not for profit. Am I a fucking idiot? Like, seriously? I'm sure someone's making money out of this, but it's certainly not me. Some say we are on a turning point in history, says Jacob. Yeah. Well, according to CNN, US reaches a nuclear fusion breakthrough. So fusion's what the sun does. Atom, locks them together. They fuse. So you have 2 hydrogen atoms, and they smash into each other and become and kind of fuse. Kind of. I know it's not that simple. And they emit a bit of energy. A remarkable amount of energy. And if you have several trillion of these atoms, you can create quite a ripple in the space-time continuum, known as a sun. Anyway, so this is harnessing the power of the sun. Most of our nuclear power, well, all of our nuclear power up till now, has been achieved through fission, which is splitting an atom. So you get some uranium, you split it into smaller atoms, or an isotope of them. And this is the idea of putting 2 atoms together, smashing them into each other, and making energy that way. Apparently, scientists have successfully produced a nuclear fusion reaction, resulting in a net energy gain. Because I think we've put it together before. I think we've put 2 atoms together before and fused them, but it's always resulted in a net loss of energy because it's taken so much energy to stick them together. You're like, yeah, stuck them together, and we produced a tiny amount of electricity. It's a bit pointless, but that sounds good. Unlimited clean energy, another step towards it. Bit late because we're still burning fossil fuel like there's no tomorrow. And ironically enough, because we are burning fossil fuels, there is going to be no tomorrow. Thanks for that. Anyway, so Jacob says, I personally don't believe so. I'm not quite sure what you're referring to, though, there. But if it's the quantum mechanics of how the sun works, then I probably got that completely wrong. Making power by banging 2 atoms together. Yeah, basically that's what it is. That is exactly what it is, John. you're making energy, you get two rocks, you bash them together, bit of friction. I know there's going to be a nuclear physicist watching this going, oh my God, Graham, that's so not what happens. But, you know, you get the gist. You get the gist anyway. So what's been happening? Well, we've had some events over in Ukraine, which have been quite interesting. Melitopol and Crimea have been hit by Ukrainian rockets. Makes a change, eh? And the Russians are shitting their pants because, like, oh shit, they're firing rockets at us. And yeah, one of them hit the target, which apparently was a hotel full of Wagner Group wank fucking mercenary scumbags. Now, the Wagner Group is a group of barbarians and rapists from Asia who come over to our continent to murder and rape and pillage. And they're supported by some people in the right wing, which is kind of weird if you think about it. Don't think about it too hard. They certainly haven't. Graham, your smile is my energy. Oh, thank you very much, David. Hi all, says Just Me and Videos. Hello. So we're just sort of talking about what, you know, hopefully this is going to be, we always think of this, don't we? This is going to be the turning point. It can't get any worse, can it? We were talking about strikes in the last show, and we're just talking about how, like how many entities are going on strike. I mean, like coffin makers are going on strike, as well as the bus drivers, the train drivers, the train operators. Not the train operators, they're making it in. I got the train back yesterday from Liverpool. It cost £100 return to go to Liverpool, so that went on my credit card. And yeah, I couldn't have done it on the coach. I couldn't because I had to be back to pick up my stepkids. So I literally could not have got the bus, even if I wanted to, and seen my dad on his birthday. And since the dementia is so advanced, you don't know, this might be his last birthday, you know? Anyway, so I had no choice. I had to get on the train, and it took was it 5 hours? 5 hours, was it? 5 hours from Liverpool to Durham. 5 fucking hours. 3 different trains. The middle one, which I got from Manchester to York, was a Trans-Penis Express that does not have a fucking toilet on board. Didn't have a toilet. It was hot. It was smelly. No, it was cold, sorry. The heating wasn't working, so it was freezing cold. It was smelly. It was congested. There were loads of people on board. People were having to stand the whole journey, having paid presumably £100 for the luxury. Fucking hell, £100. Fucking hell. That's so much money. I can't believe that I spent it on a fucking train that had no fucking toilet. No toilet. And obviously the train was late getting into Durham. I think it was 29 minutes late. I think they did that on purpose so you can't get your money back. Anyway, so yeah, not impressed with the train. So, you know, the people are going on strike on the trains. Good. I hope it fucks the train companies so much that they have to give up running the trains forever, and they all come back into national ownership, which is the only way to run a train service in a country, especially one that goes intercity. And having all competing train services is just fucking stupid. And I've already discussed this at length in these shows. I'm not going to go over it again, but essentially, you have a train, it needs a driver, but you can only use a driver who's signed to your company. It needs a conductor, you can only use a conductor that's signed to your company. It needs an engineer, you can only use an engineer signed to your company. Whereas if it was all British Rail, you could use anyone from the pool of thousands of drivers and thousands of workers and thousands of conductors and thousands of engineers, etc., etc. See what I mean? Makes more sense. So you wouldn't be sitting in a train in York for 2 hours waiting for a conductor to turn up, probably driving there from Sheffield or something, and then getting on the fucking train. I mean, you could just use someone from York who's already there. Anyway, Gaz, how you doing, mate? Train prices are outrageous in this country. Why can't we get maglev trains like in Japan? I don't really want maglev trains. So, Gaz, I know they're kind of cool, but maglev trains are difficult to. If they break down, you're fucked, basically. And trains break down. It's just one of those things. Flat roof problem. Flat roofs are great in theory, but in practice, they always fucking leak. And you'll talk to an architect and they'll say, well, if they're done correctly, Graham, they won't leak. And it's not my fault they're never done correctly because entropy, mate. Fucking entropy. Getting back into physics there, aren't we? Graham, travel around the world in 80 days, says T-Football. Okay, all right. Well, I reckon I could do around the world in 30 days. I reckon I could do it without flying in 30 days. But a couple of things have got to happen. First of all, Russia's got to stop And secondly, I think that's it, actually. Because I have to travel through Russia, you see. And if it's still going on the way it is, then I can't. I'm a bit loath to travel through Russia. First of all, I can't, I don't think. But secondly, who would go there? After that basketball player was pinched for having fucking CBD oil in her case, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? It's the Russians. This is the country that is the biggest drug dealing country in the world. The most corrupt country in the world. They give Qatar a run for their money. Yeah. But, you know, cannabis. Bleeding cold out tonight, says Plum Duff. Yes, that's why I'm wearing 2 hoodies. This is a tale of 2 hoodies. That's what I should have called this fucking show. And also, I was told, even in the British Rail days, the drivers had to be certified for the line they're driving on. Yes, John. Actually, that's a very good point there, made by John Barleycorn. So, essentially, as a driver, if you haven't driven down a track before, as, you know, watching someone else doing it, you're not allowed to do it yourself. I know it's a bit more complicated than that, but yeah, that's essentially the process of being certified. So you are taken down the track and you stand next to or sit next to the driver, and they go, look out for this signal, look out for this, look out for that sheep over there, look out for this level crossing. And so on one of my trains that I was on a few years ago, there was a problem with a fallen tree or something on the East Coast main line coming back to Durham. And so what the train had to do, it had to take the Durham Coast Railway, but they needed the driver who was qualified to take us on the Durham Coast Railway. So we had to wait in like York for ages to find a driver who was qualified to drive on those tracks. And once they did, they went, okay, we can drive on those tracks now. But it was one of those 7-hour fucking train journeys that are only supposed to take an hour. There you go. Anyway, just watched a documentary on Manny Shimwell, a proper politician. I don't know who that is. Oh, fuck it. Is that really bad? Tell me more. Tell me more, Plum Duff. Fill my ears with your knowledge. Not as cold as the space where the Tories' hearts should be, says Duke. I like that. Your cold, dead heart. Indeed. I'm sitting here in a beanie hat indoors. Well, I took my beanie hat off to put this hat on, so you'd recognise me. Because otherwise you'd be like, who's that guy? Who's that guy in the beanie hat? Where Graham should be. Daily Blase says, good evening all. Hope all is well. Yeah, it's all right. apart from all the shit going down, it's all right. As long as you ignore all that, as long as you ignore all the shit going down, we're cushy. We're rosy. So anyway, the US Air Force has carried out the first fully successful test of an air-launched hypersonic missile. Great. What else is going on? Grinner back in the US and dunking again after almost 10 months detained in Russia. This is the female basketball player who was detained in Russia for 10 months. Just because they could. She was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Actually, and those things are Russia at any time. The last time I went to Russia, I was escorted out by the military out of the country. True story. Marjorie Taylor Moore tells crowd that if she had organised January the 6th, we would have won. How is she still free? Like, you know, if I go into an American airport and make a joke about having a bomb in my luggage, I go to jail. Like, there's no two ways about it. I just go to fucking jail. You know, you couldn't even argue against that because they're such knobheads about it. You know, can't take a joke and stuff. And she had to say that. Police officers died. 3 police officers died in that. As a result of that. And she's like, yeah, if I had organised it, we could have killed some more. Could have killed some politicians as well. Could have hung Mike Pence. And little lackeys are like, yay, murder people, yay. How is she still not in jail? Judge formally dismisses Trump's case for a Mar-a-Lago special master. There you go. So basically, he's not getting one, I hope. But he never probably thought he was getting a special master. He probably just thought that this is the person who looks at all the documents before the FBI or the CIA or whoever the fuck is investigating. The DOJ can read through them all. They have to decide which ones are private and which ones are actually top classified documents. That Trump stole like a twat. He stole top secret documents. Imagine if Obama had done that. You can always say this, can't you? Imagine if something that a right-wing politician had done. Imagine if a left-wing politician did it. And then you just leave it hanging, ... Plum Duff says, I work on a railway. I've started giving money to people on the train. One lady was 78, living on a tin of beans for a week and freezing cold. She sat on the train to keep warm. It's frightening. Oh, Plum Duff. That's awful. That's absolutely fucking awful. Not what you're doing. That's fucking great. Just the fact that we live in a country where this shit is going on in 2022 in one of the richest countries in the world that decided for some unknown reason to shoot itself in the fucking dick. Talking of shooting yourself in the dick, my book, The Great Brexit Cookbook, should be out tomorrow. So if it is, look out for it. I'll put a little note on. I was hoping to get it out for Christmas, but I wasn't expecting it to be this close to Christmas. And obviously with the postal strikes on, I don't know. Well, Amazon's got their own people, haven't they? So hopefully you'll be able to get a copy of The Great Brexit Cookbook, which is a fascinating read for all the family, I'm sure. Well, actually, it's not. I've written it essentially to it's been written specifically as a present for someone in your house who voted, or someone in your family, I should say, who voted for Brexit, or maybe your family, your group of friends or whatever. So I'll tell you what it says on the back of The Great Brexit Cookbook. It says, discover the true flavour of Brexit. Whether you voted for your grandchildren to feel the icy and gnawing hunger of what we thought were bygone winters because you hate them, or because you were too stupid to see how you were being played like a cheap piano by the privately educated elite, this book is for you. Now that we've imposed crippling trade sanctions on ourselves as if we just lost a major war and rid our majestic kingdom of them pesky foreigners who came over here and did all the jobs we didn't want to do, we are finally free to eat the god-awful food of our once and glorious past. Cheap and tasteless dishes of low nutritional value such as stewed pigeon, bone soup and boiled sheep's head. May the miserable and restrictive future that you have voted to foist on your offspring taste as delicious as the dishes contained within. Disclaimer. This is an advisory cookbook. See what I did there? While the recipes are real, your constitution might not match that of your syphilitic forefathers. The author takes no responsibility for injury, sickness, death, destruction, or economic devastation that may or may not arise as a direct or indirect consequence of preparation or consumption of meals laid out in this august compendium. Over 100 recipes, sheep's head, nettle soup, tripe, gruel, just the worst, just sheep's brains is in, yeah, check it out. Anyway, it's called the Great Brexit Cookbook by Graham Hughes. It'll be out tomorrow. Anyway, so well worth buying for the fucking Brexiteer in your life. Just send it to them. Send it as a gift so they don't know who it came from, and just send it to their address. Thank you. Anyway, a sixth person I've helped this week. One bloke said he'd rather die than freeze to death. Fucking hell. The Plum Duff, Jesus Christ. Patrick Baker, last year I turned the heating on Christmas Day, but not this year. I work full time and don't earn enough for heating. Yeah, Patrick, we haven't got the heating on in here. I'm fucking freezing at the moment. I mean, what the fuck? You know, I mean, seriously, I'm white. I'm middle class. I went to university. You know, I'm very well travelled. I'm very good at what I do. I mean, why is the heating not on? Why is my heating not on? You know, my partner earns pretty good money. She's literally the fucking head of her department. She's like 20 people under her. Why have we not got the heating on? Do you know why? Because the fucking Tories. Because the fucking cunting Tories torturing us, saying, oh, you're not allowed to leave this country. You've got to stay in this fucking cunt of a place until the day you fucking die, which is going to be quite soon, because we're either going to kill you for disease or kill you by, I don't know, freezing you to death. So I had a bit of an incident over the weekend. One of my friends needs an ambulance. And it took 2 hours for the ambulance to arrive. And this was a blue light emergency situation. 2 hours for the ambulance to arrive. Tory Britain. Tory fucking Britain. My friend is okay, by the way. They're fine. But it was a very, very scary experience waiting that long for an ambulance in the 5th richest country in the world, or 6th or 7th, or whatever the fuck we are now. We've given all our money away, £1 trillion out of our country because of Brexit. We got rid of all our trade, got rid of all our good relationships with other countries. Got rid of everything. Everything must go into the back pockets of these bastard, vile, fucking Tories. Hate them. Absolutely fucking hate them. Just Me in Video said 2 hours is a disgrace. Yeah. We were very, very, very lucky it didn't end up worse than it was. And the only reason that it didn't is because they had medicine on them that eventually worked. If we didn't have that medicine to hand, yeah, I'll be telling you a very different story today. How long before the UK drops out the G7? I don't know. I mean, a lot of countries are doing badly at the moment. We're not the only one, but we're the only one who's voluntarily imposed economic sanctions on itself like a bunch of fucking dickheads. Like a bunch of absolute fucking dickheads. Number 3 says, I saw a video about using a 5-watt terranium, snake house heat pad under your feet. Blood circulation moves the heat around your body. Yeah. Patrick says, I still have a bath, but notice next door's cat licks itself clean. Looks fun and may save me money. I'm just worried about putting my back out. Yeah, it is quite difficult to get around the back, gotta say. Plum Dove says, I really hate these vile Tory monsters. Yeah, I fucking despise them. I don't want the Tories party just defeated in the next election. I want them destroyed. I want them gone. I want them crushed into dust. I want them to be ash that I can dance on and then throw into the sea, throw into shark-infested waters. The Tory party should not survive this. If there's any decency or morality in the majority of British people, they will not stand for the Tory party to exist after this winter. After what they have done, the crimes they have committed, and the crimes they go on committing. And obviously, they're not going to tax the rich. They're not going to put windfall taxes on the profits, on the mad profits of the energy companies. No, I'm not going to do that. We're going to borrow money from your children's future to pay these already insanely rich energy companies that are subsidized by the fucking state to start with even more of your money. No, not your money, your children's money, your grandchildren's money. They're spending the money now. We are now at, what is our debt? Our debt is 97.5% of our GDP. And our GDP is over £2 trillion a year. That's how much our debt is. They have ran up the nation's credit card, and we cannot hope to continue on like this. And I know we can do quantitative easing, and I know that technically a lot of that debt is borrowed off the Bank of England, which is part of the government, so we're just borrowing it off ourselves. Yes, I know the economic arguments. But the reality is that our economy is stagnating. We are entering a recession, possibly a depression, thanks to the bad decisions taken by these populist arseholes in charge. And there are so many of them, it makes my fucking head spin. Alexis is here with a £2 super chat. Thank you so much, Alexis. Hi, Graham. Sorry I'm late, but here now. Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much, Alexis. Really, really appreciate that. There is not a punishment in my vast imagination I could conjure up that adequately punish the Tories. When you dangle them above a thing that wouldn't be very nice, and you lower them down, and if they scream, it goes slower. Anyway, Plum Duff's just not fucking around. I'll string them up as traitors. It's a ridiculous situation, says Anthony Higgins. We have only put the heating on a few times in the past 2 weeks, but it's -6 where we are in Scotland. Warm clothing only goes so far. Yeah, Anthony, if it hadn't been for these fucking Tories, there would be wind farms all over Scotland. There'll be tidal fucking energy all over Scotland. There'll be fucking wind farms all off the coast of Scotland. Scotland would be a net energy exporter. Your energy would be free in a actual independent Scotland, that could actually happen, yeah? Your energy could be free because it could be subsidised by the stupid fucking English who would still have to buy your energy for you, and that would subsidise everyone's fucking energy. Everyone in Scotland, nice and fucking warm, all through the fucking winter with fucking renewable Scottish energy. That's what I'll fucking do. Fuck. You know what? Do you know who I blame? The fucking English. I know I'm English, so, you know, probably can't talk, but, yeah, Irish ancestry, Welsh name, Scottish first name. I feel British. I feel British, like, ish. And I'm from Liverpool, which has always been the People's Republic of Liverpool to me. But fucking hell, the English. What a bunch of fucking arseholes. I mean, they're just, every day they just come up with a new way of thinking of being an arsehole to the rest of the world or to themselves, to their neighbour or someone. I mean, it's just like, it's quite remarkable. There's a great book by Jim Felton called 52 Times Britain Was a Bell End. It's worth reading. And it's not Britain, really. It's usually just England. It's usually just England. Anyway, make them use the services they destroyed. Kafka will be proud. Sorry, Graham, I work in a warehouse. Plenty of working people still praising Tories and Brexit. Election will be closer than you think, says Patrick Baker. Yeah. I don't doubt it, mate. I mean, you know, I'm guessing you work in England. Or in East Wales. We need 24-hour emergency centres open for the whole winter. We do. Insulation, shout number 3. Yes. So there was a government scheme 10 years ago where people were getting their houses insulated, and you got a lot of money towards getting your house insulated, and loads of people took the government up on that. And the number of people taking the government up on that has dwindled to hardly anything, because you can only afford to get the help if you're already super fucking rich. It's a little thing for the super fucking rich. You know, the super fucking rich? You know those cunts who don't pay for anything? You know those cunts who go to openings and events? They don't pay to go and see a movie because they go to the fucking premiere. They don't pay to eat food because they go to an opening of a fucking wine cellar or an art event or a fashion show or something. They can drink free wine. They don't never have to buy a beer because they get it free at the fucking box they're in, at the fucking footy or at the races or what, that they get the free invite to because they want to be seen there at the paparazzi. The rich fucking cunts. Rich cunts pay for nothing. They pay for nothing. They pay the least amount of their wages in tax because they don't have any wages. They say, oh no, but it's wealth. It's wealth. It's not wages, it's wealth. And how do they get that wealth? Well, usually from family. They were given it by their fucking family. So great, thanks for that. We need taxes on wealth, obviously. And where else did they get it from? They get it from like bank loans and shit. And then they go, oh well, it's a bank loan. I don't have to pay tax on that because it's not an earning. It's a loan from the bank. I can't go into the bank and say, can I have £1 million fucking loan? A rich person can, and they can have £1 million to play with all fucking year, tax free. How good is that? And then they could pay that off with their wealth, with their inherited wealth. I honestly think we need a class war. I think we need to, and it should be the working class and the middle class teaming up and just taking out the fucking aristocrats. And the aristocrats are the people like Boris Johnson, who aren't really aristocrats, or Jacob Rees-Mogg, who's not really an aristocrat, but likes to think he is, and that's why he talks in slow motion. I'm Jacob Rees-Mogg. Sounds like he's had a fucking stroke. Twat. Anyway, Gaz, I support all those you have mentioned. Oh, Wales, Scotland and Liverpool are very anti-Tories, always have been, but still get prejudiced. We should be praised for it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, people make fun of people from Liverpool. They make fun of people from Wales. They make fun of people from Scotland because, that's what Southerners do. Well, that's what some Southerners do. Not everyone. Hashtag not all old people voted for Brexit. I know. Whale new head cannon. Jacob Rees-Mogg, is that an anagram? And Tories voted through the draft bill for voter ID. On another note, it's -9 on the outskirts of Glasgow. Fucking voter ID. So basically, if you've got an Oyster card, like an old person's Oyster card, you can use that as ID. But if you've got a young person's Oyster card, you can't to vote, which is nice. Number 3, I had to pay for my heat pump in advance. Stupid. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, just there's so many things going on here. It's like, how stupid is our government? Well, I think our government's quite a good reflection of the people of England, and the fact that Scotland can't leave now. So Scotland's been told it can't leave, and I keep saying this, like, you put someone in a room of gold and they'll be happy. You lock the door and they will be unhappy. Nobody wants to feel trapped. And that's what this government has done. Not only has it made it so Scottish people can no longer live and work in 31 other countries around Europe, they have also said that they cannot have any kind of self-determination unless given permission by the English. That's the deal. That's the deal. Well, unless the English give the Scottish permission, they cannot lead this free union. Again, if I was Scottish, I'll be warming myself on the House of Parliament. What is Oystercard? Oystercard is the London travel card that you use to travel on the railway and the subway on the underground, the tube in London, and the buses and the ferries and the trams, because it's an integrated transport system, unlike every other city in the country which doesn't have an integrated transport system, because the Tories decided that they would privatise public transport. Now, do you see the problem with that name there? Public. Let's say that again. Public transport. The fuckers, the knobheads, the twatbags who privatised it, because the Tories cannot create anything. They only know how to destroy. They took something that worked and made it crappy, so that their shareholder mates will make a lot of fucking wedge. Make a bit of green. Yeah, make a bit of coin. Yeah. Look how much money I've made out of screwing people over just trying to get to work or trying to visit their family. And we've got a rail system now that just absolutely fucks you if you're spontaneous or bereaved. Absolutely fucks you. It's insane. £150 for a ticket to London from Durham. 150. That's standard. That's off-peak. That's off-peak super saver. What the fuck's it saving? What is that saving? It's just the shitest superhero ever. What are you saving? Well, absolutely nothing. I'm just costing you literally 10 times more than it should cost. More than a tank of petrol down to London and a tank of petrol back. Why would you? If there was more than one of you getting down to London, why would you take the train when it would be not even like half the price to drive? It would be a quarter of the price to drive with two people. That's fucking nuts, isn't it? 4 people being 1/8 of the price. Just what the fuck? Seriously. Fucking hell. The people in the Scandinavian nations, cold place on the planet, aren't worried about heating their homes. They prove that our situation is ideological choice. It is. It absolutely is. We have the draftiest, the coldest homes in the whole of Europe, and the government are not wanting to do anything about it. They want people to suffer. Because the more people suffer, the more they complain, and the more they'll blame immigrants and things that, and Europe and whoever the bogeyman is for the fucking Tories. Did you see the guy who bought a train ticket from Brighton to Bangor, more than £550, and it got cancelled? Oh, Jesus on a stick. This country is just one fucking facepalm after another, isn't it? The train should be simply this. Whatever it costs to get there in petrol, in a car, it should be 1/5 of that. That's it. That's the end. I've done it. I've done the maths. It's long been like that, Graham, since Thatcher. Yeah, it has. That was the ultimate irony of breakfast. Breakfast. I keep saying breakfast instead of Brexit. That was the ultimate irony of Brexit. Leaving proved that if we had the sovereignty, we had the sovereignty they claim we lost to get the people to vote leave. Yeah. But imagine if the EU had said no. Imagine if the EU had said you're not even allowed to have a referendum. You had one in 1975, and it was a super majority to stay in the then EEC. A super majority, 66%, to stay in the EEC. What changed Britain? Nothing. No one cared about the EU 12 years ago. It's only Nigel Fucktarge, who didn't die in that plane crash, unfortunately, who's just stirred up this pot of shit about foreigners, about Europeans, while being married to a German woman, by the way. While having German-speaking children, by the way. There's nothing like a hypocrite, is there? There's nothing like a hypocrite to get people's juices flowing, especially fucking knobheads. Oh, I'm a knobhead. Oh, look at this massive hypocrite. Yay, I'm so excited. Anyway, I remember it being £18 return to London from Liverpool on British Rail. Yep, them are the days. It should still be. What they need to do is quite simply have, Well, I've talked to you about HS2, what I would do with HS2 before, but just in case anyone's missed it, here's a recap. Build it to Birmingham. Fine. Look, they've already bought the land. It's happening, right? Build it to Birmingham. Stop when you got to Birmingham. Okay. This is someone from the north telling you to stop when you get to Birmingham. The reason being, right? We don't need a high-speed track. We already have the West Coast Main Line. But Graham, you crazy ginger bastard, weren't you the one who kept on going on about the fact that they have to share that high-speed track with also rail, with local regional rail, which only goes about 30 fucking miles an hour, and freight trains, which only go like 15 miles an hour, which is why trains get stuck behind slower moving trains, and why it's so difficult to just get everything going at the same speed. Now, look, if you have a train track between two cities, and there's a train and it leaves and it goes at 30 miles an hour, and then there's a train behind it going at 200 miles an hour, that train behind it is going to smack into the back of it, isn't it? Think about it, right? But, so that second train has got to wait until that first train has got to the destination before it can even go. Pretty much. Maybe 10 minutes before it gets to the destination, it can go. Finally, great, we can go now. Now, if you have a situation in which you have a dedicated line that only has high-speed trains on it, and you don't have to be that high speed. At the moment, the train from London to Liverpool, if it doesn't get held up, is 2 hours and 7 minutes. That's fast enough for me. That's fast enough for most people. I mean, I don't see why it needs to be any faster than that, okay? Forget about the speed for a minute. Let's just talk about capacity. If you have a line that is dedicated to just trains that all go at, say, 200 miles an hour, or whatever the speed is, so 150 miles an hour, it doesn't fucking matter. What matters is that all the trains go at the same speed. Think about it. You have a city here. You can let the trains go every 10 minutes. Fuck it. You can let them go every 5 minutes if you want to, because they're not going to hit the train in front, because the train in front is going at the same speed that they are. It's only a problem if the train in front is going slower than the train behind it, which is what we do at the moment, because the regional trains and the freight trains are also on the same train as the same track as the fast intercity trains. So instead of taking the fast trains off that track and putting them onto a faster track, which is really difficult to build because it's got to be graded, it can't have level crossings, it can't have sharp turns, it can't have sharp dips. It has to be very, very flat and very, very straight, okay? And it's very difficult to build a very, very flat and straight railway through a country where every bit of property is owned by some cunt, okay? It's very difficult, all right? So instead of doing that, take the slow trains off. Take the slow trains off the East Coast Main Line, take the slow trains off the West Coast Main Line, and give them their own new line that can have fucking 90-degree corners for all I fucking care. It can go around estates. It can go around cities. It can go around farmland. It doesn't matter, because the trains on them are only going to be going at low speeds because they're regional trains and freight trains. And freight trains can run at night when the fucking passenger trains aren't fucking running. Great. That takes all those fucking slow bastard trains off the tracks that we need, and just leave that track from Birmingham to Liverpool, Birmingham to Crewe, isn't it? And then Liverpool on to Manchester. Just leave them for the trains going at 175 miles an hour or whatever it is, and have them going every fucking 10 minutes. There you go, world. Britain, I have solved your fucking transport woes for you for a tenth of the price of HS2. Thank you. You're very welcome. Anyway, Plumduff says, lots of backhanders, no doubt, on this railway. In terms of total journey planning, it may better to have automated cars. No, it wouldn't. Number 3, I don't believe that, because I know that if you have a conductor on the train, the people on the train have someone to go to who's trained in first aid in the case of emergency, and also make sure no one's got the hand trapped in the door. I don't like the idea of automated trains. And in a situation where you've got lots of people moving about. So in Brisbane, in Australia, they have an automated cargo area for the boats. You know, the containers coming off the boats. They have this area that's just robots. And they pick up the containers, and it's all controlled by a big control tower, and they look down over the top. And it's, you know, like one of those control towers you see at the airport. They've got one of them, but it looks over the container area, and it's all sectioned off. There's a big fence around it saying, warning, robots at work. And that's great, because there's no fucking humans in there. You put humans into any equation that is, like, automated, even lifts and escalators are dicey enough. Jesus Christ. Never mind the fucking train going at 175 miles an hour. Anyway, right, who else is saying things? I had to pay £130 for Coventry to London. Fucking hell. A peak travel time. That's insane, isn't it? Both of Farage's wife were foreigners. His first wife was Irish, and consequently, her 2 sons are entitled to Irish passports. Yeah. Isn't he a cunt? Why don't they say this every time that cunt's on the telly? Why don't they point it out? Why doesn't someone put their hand up in questions? I was like, hey, how come your little fucking crotch rats get to have a fucking passport for Europe, whereas my little fucking, sex trophies, they don't get one? What's that about, cunt? Yeah. Maybe not use that language. People get very upset. In terms of, but then we wouldn't have a huge white elephant. Well, Lefty Brothers, I don't think HS2 is a white elephant. I do think it's necessary. But if you look at why it's necessary, it's because of the slow trains on the track that is there at the moment. Take those slow trains off the track, bonza. Seriously, that's the way to solve this problem. It's really simple. If someone can let me know in the chat why that wouldn't work, I'd love to hear it, because this is my solution. This is my transport solution as someone who's been to every country in the world on public transport. So, I don't know. Tell me why it won't work. Go on. Go. Quash rats and sex trophies, says Lee, and has a laugh. Yeah, sorry. I shouldn't say that out loud, should I? It's just what you think, though, isn't it? Ben Patrick says, I think the Tories are opening coal mine because they were pining for the good old days of millionaire bosses and dirty peasants. They won't be able to afford a bath. Yes. Coal mine. Fucking coal mine. Unbelievable. Listen to him carefully. He keeps any references as vague as possible. His ancestors changed their name in the 1800s. They got kind of posh. I thought at the time they built the A14 that it'd be better if they created a train line between Folkestone and Holyhead and stuck the freight on it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, transporting stuff by lorry is mental. It's absolutely mental. Why would you do that when you've got train lines? The train lines were invented for freight, and passengers were an afterthought. Yeah, there were freight cars, and then there was a little passenger car kind of stuck to the back of it to go, oh yeah, you can get passengers, yeah, go on. And then they eventually said, okay, let's have a proper passenger railway, which is the Stockton-Darlington line up here. But the first real commercial passenger railway was Liverpool to Manchester, leaving from the Crown Street station in Liverpool, which is sadly no longer there. And then it went to Edge Hill. Edge Hill station has moved from its original position, so now the oldest still in use passenger rail station in the world is Broad Green in Liverpool. And if anyone's been to the Broad Green station in Liverpool, which is actually my local station when I'm in Liverpool, it's disgusting, it's horrible, and there's no blue plaque on the wall to say it's the oldest train station that's still in existence that took passengers. Anyway, although the Tories did take it down from 4 lines to 2, because the Tories are fucking arseholes. What else have we got here? Listen to him carefully. Now I see why you never made it to politics. You have ideas that are actually useful. Yes, Mad Monk, thank you. Well, yeah, I mean, it is painful. It is really, 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 really painful to watch these absolute fucking morons. And, look, I've got quite a few people in my life, let's say, have been diagnosed with ADHD over the last year. And I see a lot of their symptoms, quirks, let's call them quirks, in what I do. And all I can think now is, when you're watching someone, don't have to be an old person necessarily, but let's just say someone who's not familiar with computers doing something on a computer really fucking slowly. Yeah. So imagine someone with ADHD watching someone who doesn't know what they're doing on a computer do something really slowly on a computer. Imagine that frustration. Now hold that in your head. That's how I feel about this fucking government. It's like watching It's like watching someone who's not familiar with computers literally typing with one finger to try and get to weightwatchers.com. And then they make a mistake and they're like, what do I do? And you're just like, give me that. You just pick it up. Done. Oh my God. Anyway. Asperger's Europe says, some good news. There was a story in Guardian today about breakthroughs in nuclear fusion technology. Scientists for the first time extracted more energy than they put in. I did mention this at the start of the show, but obviously some people came in a bit later on. But yeah, that is the glimmer of hope at the end of the tunnel. Although, I'm a cynical fucker. I know what the oil companies do. The oil companies very happy to, fund what was it? It was the tire companies that bought the trolley car in Los Angeles and wound it down, so everyone had to get a car. The oil companies were behind a lot of this shit, with the they had a war, didn't they, between Paraguay and Bolivia, which was funded by two different oil companies. Obviously Iraq, the Iraq wars, oil companies all over that. And the oil companies are fucking evil. They spent a lot of money on getting people to just keep fucking using oil. So they sent thousands of delegates over to the COP27 summit this year, and fucking nothing got agreed. Again, there was some compensation that the rich countries would give to the poor countries, literally by just we'll print some money and send it to you. That's what they said. Great, well done, thanks everyone. Problem solved. And no agreement on scrapping coal, even just getting rid of the dirtiest of the fossil fuels. And that was all paid for by the fossil fuel companies. And the fossil fuel companies pay people like Elon Musk to fuck around with shite like hyper fucking loop. To turn up like some fucking monorail salesman out the fucking Simpsons, North Haverbrook, and sell them this bullshit about having this subway. It's a subway, but instead of having a train, everyone has a pod in a sub. No, just have a fucking train. It's a tried and tested method. The fucking London Underground's 160 years old. It fucking works. It works a fucking treat. Although London's still a nightmare because it's London. But like seriously, and you look at a lot of this stuff. So the oil companies are big on hydrogen because hydrogen's bullshit. That will never actually work because they have this thing where they go, well, we'll make hydrogen. You're like, where'd you get the energy to make the hydrogen? Oh, well, we'll have wind farms to make the hydrogen. Okay, then how are you going to defy the laws of thermodynamics that dictate that basically you're going to get less energy out of your hydrogen than you are out of your wind turbines that you're putting in, the energy putting in, because you can't get more energy out than you put in. You can't do that. You see, that doesn't happen unless you're doing nuclear fusion, bringing us back to the original point. But this isn't nuclear fusion. This is hydrogen. This is creating hydrogen. This is boiling water and taking the hydrogen out, or however the fuck they do it. Why don't they just plug in those same wind turbines into the grid? There we go. Jobs are good. Hydrogen has always been 10 years away. I'm 43 now. All my life, hydrogen has always been 10 years away. That's why I think it's bullshit, just made up by the oil companies. It's this thing that will happen in the future, which will never really happen. And in the meantime, why don't you just continue burning oil and gas and coal and destroying the fucking planet and destroying the coral reefs and destroying the rainforests and destroying the habitats of literally every fucking animal on the fucking planet and destroying the glaciers and destroying any low-lying fucking areas that don't want to get flooded but are now getting flooded because of fucking climate change. Yes, well done, everyone. Fuck me sideways. Anyway, but yeah, so I'm always a bit sus. I'm always a bit sus when one of these breakthroughs happen because I think, well, is it real? Is it something that's going to happen in my lifetime, or is it just one of these things where they'll just go, yes, it's only 10 years away now. You said that 10 years ago. Yeah, but now it's only 10 years away. Yeah, but you literally said that 20 years ago as well. Yeah, but now it's only 10 years away. You literally said in the early 90s that hydrogen was going to be the future. I saw it on fucking Tomorrow's Fucking World. That's how long you've been saying this. It's the future. It's the future. It's just a long, long way into the future, but it's the future. I mean, there might be some applications of hydrogen in industry, i.e. where you need a high temperature, say to melt steel, that you might not be able to generate with a wind turbine, for instance. Okay, I'll go with that. But other than that, I mean, to fuel our cars, to fuel our homes, I can't see it. I can't, because you're taking the power from the wind turbine that goes down a wire. It does this electrolysis thing, whatever it does, and then you get hydrogen. I'm like, okay, so there can't be more energy. It can't be, because otherwise it would defy the laws of thermodynamics, which are laws. They're not theories. Which a theory is a very robust thing. I have a better word than theory, because you get people going, oh, well, evolution's only a theory. Like, well, it's a theory that's been around for nearly 200 years now, mate. So that's pretty good. 150 years, sorry. But it's been around for 150 years, mate. It's pretty fucking good. It's pretty good. It's a theory, don't you think? Don't you think that's pretty good? No one's been able to make it not true. No one's been able to prove that it doesn't work. Yeah. Anyway, right, back into your comments. Lee says, I think I have ADHD. I'm going to try and get a diagnosis. Yeah, good idea, mate. I'm going to do that as well, because it makes a good excuse. Because I've been thinking about this. It's like, is he a cunt, or has he got ADHD? That could be a t-shirt or something, couldn't it? So, like, basically, if you're in a situation where everyone's talking and you just go, will everyone just shut the fuck up? They'll think you're a cunt. But if you are in the same situation and you say, please can everyone shut the fuck up, I have ADHD and you're making my head hurt. Yes, boom. I'm not saying that we should all get ADHD diagnoses so we can just have an excuse for being a cunt, but it would explain a few things, if you know what I mean. Anyway, moving on. I noticed you had the Simpsons symptoms. The Simpsons says the lefty boater. I'm an ADHDer. Well, you know, million fucking ideas at once, and the constant feel of frustration that I don't have the money, the influence to make these things actually fucking happen. Because at least a few of them would be good, you know. The few fucking things that I've actually managed to fucking succeed at in life, you know, they've been pretty good. They've been pretty fucking epic in their own little way. Let me do more. I could do more. Just, you know, lend me your car. Stephen says, it's Curtis Tigers here, completely off topic and a no consequence, but why has the video for Theme of Lions and Tigers disappeared off YouTube? As a director of said video, can you make it reappear? Hello, Stephen. How you doing, mate? Well, Curtis, I'll have a look for you. I'll literally do it while we're talking. I'll have a look for... Why is it gone? Well, I don't know why it's gone. It shouldn't have gone. It should still be there. I will have words with the management at Google YouTube. Death is a theory and we all have beliefs. Ernie says solid state batteries are more important than fusion, still far off. Madmonk33, they're trialling hydrogen buses and trains in Scotland's far more than where. Someone has been spray painting Tony Blair all over Liverpool. No idea what that's about. That's a bit weird, isn't it? I was diagnosed in July. If you need advice, give me a shout. Number 3 says, I may be autistic after a fashion. A lot of people are on the autistic spectrum. I mean, I have some traits that will come across to some people as autistic because, you know, I don't know, I remember facts. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but today, if anyone was watching Pointless, was anyone watching Pointless today on BBC 2, BBC One? BBC One? Anyone watching Pointless? Because my mate Trev was on it, who you might recognise from The Patience of Oddjob, which was a little short anti-Brexit film that I made about these 2 security guards watching this guy on the monitors whose life was just going to shit because of Brexit, and they were just having a bet whether he would give up and say that Brexit was a bad idea or not. Anyway, he's a mate of mine, and he didn't name drop me, but he mentioned me on the show because he said there was a bit on flags of the world, and he went, yeah, I'm the worst. I'm not the person to answer this. I've got a mate who's been to every country and he'll be great at this. And I was like, yeah, that's me. So that was me that he was referring to. If you watch Pointless today and you saw the ginger Northern Irish guy, Trevor, on there, and if you're watching, Trevor, hi Trevor. Anyway, yes, true story. Okay, so I'm gonna have a look for my Lions and Tigers videos. Can't believe theme from Lions and Tigers has been taken off my YouTube bloody thing. Smash. I need to go to YouTube Studio. Sorry. Where's thing? Graham's laughing. No, Lefty Boat is laughing. How about wind farms producing electricity during the night and pump water back up to hydroelectric plants? Seems to be working in Norway and Finland. Yeah, Don Donovan, absolutely, 100%. I think I was going off on one about this a while ago about how batteries are just fucking ridiculous because, you know, massive battery banks, because the amount of lithium we need and the difficulty of getting lithium out of Botswana or Bolivia or some other country that begins with B is just insane. Like, it's a very difficult process to get the lithium away from these areas where there's just like no one lives there, you know. It's miles from anything, miles from any kind of infrastructure, and it's just really hard to get that stuff out at the quantity that we need to have these mega battery banks. Obviously, everyone needs lithium for their fucking phones. Everyone's phone has got lithium in them. So yeah, problem there. But yeah, the idea of you have a surplus of electricity, you pump water up a hill when you've got too much, and then when you don't have enough electricity, the water comes back down through a hydroelectric plant, spins the turbines, and you have electricity. It's a battery. It's a battery, but probably one of the most natural kind of batteries you could possibly have. You don't need to get those rare earth metals from the other side of the fucking planet in order to make them work. Which is why Elon Musk isn't interested in it, because Elon Musk is a fuckwit who, well, he's not a fuckwit, he's a cunt who wants to destroy any semblance of public transport anywhere in the world. I mean, he set himself up now as my kind of like my nemesis. So I've obviously got Farage and that Boris Johnson, Alec Creep, but as my sort of nemesis. I've got more than one. But yeah, in particular, Elon Musk going after public transport. Public transport that he'll never have to fucking use because he's a fucking billionaire. He's probably never used it because he made all his money, well, his parents made all the money from an emerald mine that they had in apartheid fucking era Southern Africa. So, yeah, well done, everyone. But yeah, he's probably never got the bus or the train. He doesn't give a fuck. He's got a chauffeur-driven fucking electric limousine to take him fucking everywhere. He's got a fucking space rocket if he wants to fly to the other side of the fucking planet. Great. Well done, Elon, you mad twat. Don't wreck public transport for everybody else when you don't use fucking public transport yourself. If you use it yourself, that'd be bad enough. But the fact that he doesn't even fucking use it, what a twat. What an absolute fucking clanging gobshite. Anyway, where was I? I was looking for my videos. Right, let's have a look. Content. They reckon we're about 60% of theoretical perfect efficiency with lithium-ion batteries already. Well, there you go. Elon Musk is essentially Elliot Carver from Tomorrow Never Dies. He is a cunt. What can I say? Right, we're going to have a look for lions and tigers in my video. I've got like 1,000 videos. Oh, my God. Oh, well, that's no good. Oh, it's because I've spelt lions with an I and it's spelt with a Y. Oh, you're right. Okay, we've got Clinton live, and we've got 16 weeks in the cellar. I don't know why. Where it's gone. I think YouTube has just deleted it. I think, yeah, YouTube has just deleted it, like a bunch of bastards. Oh no, no! It's still there. It's still there. It's still there. It's public. It's public. It's still there, but it didn't come up when I... Oh, it's because it's got an ampersand in the title. I'll tell you what, I'll get rid of the ampersand and I'll change it to an and I'll change it to Lions and, theme from Lions and Tigers. Okay, I'm just changing the title here to make it easier to find. And then save. There you go. Oh my God. It was a WMV file and it was uploaded. When was it? Does it actually have the upload date on this? I probably would have went on the link. Okay, Curtis Tigers. Curtis Tigers, here is your link. Here is your link. There you go, mate. Happy days. Theme from Lions and Tigers, which is brilliant. Lee says Mitch Ben has done a really good song about how Elon Musk could have been a hero, but now he's just a cunt. Great, good on you, Mitch. He's one of us. He's a Scouser. He went to my school. Ernie Burns, the general use of the word theory and scientific use are very different. There's conceptual misinterpretations cause so much trouble. I know, I was going to talk about it a little bit more, but I'm not a scientist. But I know that to have a theory in science is a bit more robust than a hypothesis in science, which is a completely different thing. Australia, 52% of global lithium production. Chile, 24%, and 32% someone else. Just back from Sydney, says Jamie Mack. Hello, Jamie Mack. They had a train strike for a week, but instead of not running it, it was free. I know. Do you know that's actually illegal in this country? It's actually illegal. The government made it illegal to do that. Yeah, they made it illegal to do that in this country. Yeah, the government made that illegal. The Tory government made that illegal. The fucking Tory cunting government made it illegal to do that. Do you know what else they made it illegal to do as a consequence of that? In Australia, well, at least in Victoria, in Melbourne, the trains are free on Christmas Day. The trains are free on... I'll say that again. The trains are free on Christmas Day. Little gift to the people. Go and visit your granny on Christmas Day for free on us. Vic Rail, thank you very much. Awesome. Good stuff, guys. Here? Oh, you want to go and visit your granny? Well, it'll be 150 quid return, and the train will fucking die if there's more than 2 inches of fucking snow, and it'll take you 7 hours and 6 different fucking trains, and it'll all stink of piss, and you won't be able to go for a piss, and they won't even have a bucket on board to have a piss, so you just have to sit there and piss yourself, turn up to your nan's with piss all over your fucking pants, and, you know, when she's already gone to bed, like 8 hours ago, because that's how long it takes to go anywhere on the fucking train, the shitty ass bastard, idiotic, expensive, moronic shithole of a country. Just to think, 10 years ago, when I wrote my list of my favourite countries in the world, England was number one. Now, today, 10 years on, it wouldn't be in the top 100. That's what 12 years of Tory government does to a place. Wow. Anyway, I'm going to have to get going. Can I have some more super chats? Anyone got any super chats before I go? Anyway. I don't understand why they are doing it more with graphene battery technology. It's better, cheaper, and longer lasting. Isn't graphene expensive, though? Isn't graphene quite an expensive thing to sort of isolate, whatever? I don't know. Or do you just use a bit of sellotape and you just put it on some graphite? What's it called? Graphite? Yeah, graphite that you get off at the end of a pencil. Been told the French do a rolling random 20% on strike, so it's a lot less predictable to manage or cover for, plus less time docked for striking. Very effective way of doing it. Jamie Mack, yeah, I'm liking the sound of that. Here in West Yorks, the Labour Mayor, Tracy Brabin, has at least reduced bus fares across Leeds, Bradford, etc. Well, that's good. I can't believe I said that about a fucking Tory. There you go. And on that cheery night, no, good night all. Oh, cheers, Plum Duff. The puny legend, says Plum Duff. Found it, Graham. Carry on. Oh, sorry. I just literally just read that, Curtis. Oh, well, never mind. Okay, right. Hello, Scouse cunt. How the fuck are you, bruv? I'm good, Wayne. You've just turned up. I'm just leaving the show. I finish at 10 these days. It's past my bedtime. I'm getting old. My top 3, Australia, Netherlands, Vietnam. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Like I didn't like Australia. Well, I spent too much time in Australia, I think, to put it in my top 3. I think it was in my top 10, though. I don't know whether that was just to keep my, at the time, Australian girlfriend happy. I don't know. Anyway, right. Okay, so I'm going to go. That's it. That's it for me. I'll be back. I will be back for the last Prime Minister's Questions of the year, I think, on Wednesday. Well, it's my last anyway, because the week after I'm going back to Liverpool for Christmas to see me parents. So, yeah, last Prime Minister's Questions, if it's on Wednesday, I haven't checked, at 12 o'clock, and I'll see you then. Patrick says, my local council has spent loads on Christmas decorations. My street looks like a snow globe. Oh, that's good. I'm good they got the cash to do that. Plum Duff, £5 super chat. Thank you very much, Plum Duff. Sorry, I was complaining about not getting enough super chats. Well, I wasn't complaining. I know times are fucking hard. And yeah, it's difficult. But yeah, have a look on GrahamDavidHughes.com. I'm still working on it, but in the meantime, if you want to correct something, or you see that I've fucked something up or whatever, just go. It's kind of in the process of being sorted out, but I'm trying to put all my projects there. There's a few more things to put on, you'll probably notice, but have a look at that, and have a look at my TV show things. There's something quite exciting in the pipeline that's actually now on my Graham David Hughes site, and also there's a link there to Labour Social, laboursocial.com, which will be coming in the new year, which I'm also working on. So which hopefully I'm going to take all you lovely people with me. I don't care whether you're Labour supporters or not. I'm not a massive Labour supporter myself. It's just, think about it. We need access, and we need to have a little bit of influence. See what I'm getting at? Yeah, you know what I'm getting at. Here's a super chat. £400. Oh, thanks, Wayne. It's Wayne. Oh, for fuck's sake, Wayne. GDH initials, aren't they hair straighteners? Probably. I don't know. Anyway, smash the like button if you're not a Tory. Rage-breaking, emotional commitment, Amber Alert. Yeah, indeed. So, if I don't see you on Wednesday because Prime Minister's Questions get cancelled, or Rishi Sunak falls under a bus or something, oh, what a tragedy, I will be back on Thursday at 9 o'clock for another round of The War on Error, just to talk about shit that's going down, and it might be the last one of the year, maybe. I don't think it will be. I'll do some between Christmas and New Year. I'm pretty sure of it. But yeah, watch out for that. Thank you for watching. Thanks to all my patrons. Thanks to all my YouTube subscribers and my YouTube members, and thank you for you to watching. Thank you for my super chats, and I will see you next time. Until then, good evening, good welcome, hello, and good night, or something. Bye.